for you, and I hope you guys are really psyched, because I know we're psyched to perform for you. And we want to thank everyone who came. I do want to invite the people that are in our audience members. If you would like to turn on your cameras, you're more than welcome to do that, and we will happily look at your beautiful smiling faces. And that would be awesome. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine as well. I'm Jim Andrinos. I'm hosting this, and we're going to do these pop-up events every once in a while, so that fine comics such as these lovely people have places to perform while we are in quarantine. I hope everyone's enjoying their quarantine. I actually, for the first time, came across what I think was the most brilliant thing I have ever seen in protest. We're aware of anti-maskers now. That's the latest thing. People that don't wear the mask. So someone was wearing a mask and holding a sign, and both the sign and the mask read, "The coronavirus is a hoax." So that's somebody who's really in touch with their political agenda, but isn't going to take any fucking risks. They're like, in case I'm wrong, they're open to the possibility that they may be an idiot. And we need more protesters like that. I need people holding up signs like, "I think you're wrong, but I'm not sure." You need more of that in life. It just makes for a more social protester. And how committed are you to something when you're going to have it printed on and pay to have it printed on the thing that you're protesting? Do you know what I'm saying? That's like printing a stack of condoms that says, "I can't feel anything." That's what it's like, okay? We all know that these people are just, it's a special kind of crazy when you do stuff like that. So apparently it was created in a lab in China. The Obama administration created it and waited for now to put it out so Biden could win. That was one of my favorite ones. Or my personal favorite was bat soup. And here's what I'm going to say about this. It's not bat soup. It's not eating something that's disgusting to the American palate. That did not cause this. You know how I know this? Because I have immigrant parents. My dad was from Greece. He used to eat lamb lungs. All right? I want you to put those two words next to each other. Lamb lungs. All right? And he never came down with bronchitis. It's not how these diseases come about. All right? These are very special times. But we're not going to do all coronavirus all the time, because there's a lot of great stuff that's going on. It's summer, the beach, 4th of July coming. And here's what I love most about the 4th of July. Every year I look forward to the fireworks on 4th of July. But I think this year I'm going to look forward to the fireworks fucking ending on the 4th of July. Because I don't know where you live, but apparently in northern New Jersey, which is where I'm sheltering, they are lighting up 4th of July and have been since around May 15th. It really is pretty much the middle of May. I think it's going to go straight through to September. I think we're going to have back-to-school fireworks. That's what's going to happen at this point. What else am I looking forward to this summer? I got invited to a social distancing barbecue. And I got the invitation, and of course I got the invitation online, because that's where we all live right now. I don't know about you guys, but apparently I have actually sat in this chair so much that my ass is grafting onto the chair. I now no longer get up and walk. I just wheel wherever the fuck I need to go. All right? But so I get the thing online. It says 4th of July pool party and social distancing. And forgive me, because I'm about to bring some race into this. This is clearly some white people shit. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because here's the whole thing. I'm not saying that there are no African Americans breaking, social distancing. There are, but they own it. They're like, "I'm tired, come to the barbecue." Whereas white people are going, "Come to the barbecue, but we'll stay 6 feet apart. You'll have a chicken wing. I will fling it to you from across the pool, and we will all be safe." We're not going to be safe. If you go to one of these events, if you go to a cookout, if you go to a barbecue, basically what you're saying is that you like to gamble. And since the casinos are no longer open, you kind of want to bet your life. You kind of want to, 7-10 split right there on whether or not you're going to live or die. It's a really fun thing. You're going to double down on it. What other fun summer activities do we have for you guys? So I got to admit, these Zoom shows are fun, but I did my first drive-in comedy show. And for those of you that don't know what a drive-in comedy show is, in our lovely audience, that is people rent out a parking lot and they bring in a truck and you stand on the back of a flatbed truck and you talk into a microphone that is connected to a radio transmitter that you can hear in your car. And when you're in your car, since the doors are closed and the windows are up and the engines are running, we can't hear you laughing. So in order to hear you laughing, they ask the audience to honk the horn whenever you think something's funny. That's what they've asked the audience to do, which is awesome, and it's nice, unless you're like me and loud noises just kind of give you, flashes. Do you know what I'm saying? I hear loud noises and I start to twitch a little bit. I've never wanted to be unfunny as much in my entire life. All right? I was just there like, please let me suck for the rest of the stuff. Consider it performance art, and then just save all your honking at the end. In fact, at the end, you don't even have to repeatedly honk. Just lean on the horn for a good 30 seconds. We'll all be fine. We'll all be happy at that point. All right? Last thought about the summer, because I don't know what you're looking forward to on your summer vacation. I have a 14-year-old. What I am mostly looking for at the end of the summer is back to school. I am really looking forward to her physically going to another building and learning something. Here's why I say that. Because my 14-year-old is taking classes and she's coming up to me, or was until school ended at the end of June, and asking me to help her with her classwork. I have not physically been in a school in over 30 years, and I did not realize that they changed everything. Like, the first thing that happened was I walked over and she's there like, you were a math major, can you help me with my math homework? And I looked over and I saw what she was doing and I went, no, I cannot. I'm an idiot. I'm going to hire you, a 19-year-old, in order to do that. And then a couple of days later, she said, hey, I have health class. Can you explain some of these terms? And I look on it, and there are just terms you don't want to explain to your 14-year-old daughter. You know what I'm saying? For instance, when you look at a computer screen and you see oral copulation next to each other on that computer screen, I'm thinking, I do not want to have this discussion with you. Your mom is 8 feet away. You only called me over to watch how red I can turn. That is the entire reason why you said me and not mom. And here's the unfairness of it. Because I walk by her computer and I see the words oral copulation, and it's health class. It's perfectly socially acceptable. They're teaching the children. You walk by my computer screen and you see the term oral copulation. Clearly I'm surfing porn. It's a double standard, ladies and gentlemen. And now I tell everyone I'm not surfing porn. I just went back to school. That's what I did. So, all right, people. So I hope you guys are good and warmed up. For those of you guys that are in the audience, I just really want to say thank you all so much for coming out here. You guys are awesome and supporting your friends and whatnot. And we're going to do this quite often. So please keep coming back. But we are going to kick things off with a very funny young lady who I'm happy to say is a good friend of mine. And she is legal in the country. Yay! By way of Canada, put your hands together for Miss Dina Bakowitz. Dina Bakowitz. Yay!
Everybody, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So happy whatever the fuck day it is today. No idea. That was tomorrow. Some things haven't changed during the pandemic. I'm still always late. And Jim's like, oh yeah, you really are. It's not out of disrespect for my audience. It's that I'm really bad at numbers. I don't like math. So also, yesterday was Canada Day. We have the 4th of July coming up. I'm torn because I am a Canadian citizen and a US resident in New York City. And, you know, right now, especially, Canada is safe. It's secure. We have a leader. We, you know, have health care. We flatten the curve. On the other hand, New York has everything. I feel like I'm caught between a husband and a lover. Canada's the husband. It's safe and logical and practical. And New York makes me happy. I love New York, has a whole other meaning. So I'm single. In case anybody out there didn't know yet, it's in all my bios. And I got my first virtual booty call, virtual booty call, because he needed a release and he was tense and he thought I could do something for him. So clearly some things haven't changed during the pandemic. It's still all about the guy. But I did the nice Canadian thing. I apologized and said, I'm sorry, I'm not available, but I'll think about it. And then I did what a normal person, what a smart girl does. I went out and got a cat. Yeah, so she is a foster cat. I am fostering her. She's a kitten. She's 2 pounds, 2 months, and she's the only pussy in this apartment smaller than me. But she, you know, and the thing is you have to train them. And I train people for a living. I teach introverts how to come out of their shell and learn to trust people. And with cats, it's similar. You have to teach them, you know, don't make eye contact right away because that's scary. Same thing with introverts. Got to warm up gently and be like, it's okay, positive reinforcement, reward. You have to build trust, which is why they call us crazy cat ladies and not horny men who want to deceive you. Because no man is going to build trust. So I'm working with this thing. And I figured out that how you make a cat comfortable. And men, listen up. This is how you treat a woman. You bring her into the house, into the apartment. You play soft, romantic music. You put her in the tub. You lay her down. You wipe her down very gently. You know, rub her ears and her neck and work your way down. And if she doesn't scratch you in the face, it means you can keep going. The signals, guys. You gotta read the signals. So I did this and she started, you know, moving, like watch the body language. So I started rubbing her belly. And of course, you know, you rub and you get the reaction, and then in a second she turns and she's like, not there, bitch. Gotta pay attention. Dogs are different. Dogs, you show up, it's instant love. Cats need foreplay and they need treats. There's an expression, it's not mine, but I like it. Dogs have masters and cats have staff. This cat has a fucking entourage. Like, she needs to be the center of attention at all times. So clearly we're well matched. And I'm training her. There's potty training and play training and what's appropriate behavior and inappropriate behavior. And unfortunately, we had a little accident and she peed on the bed. So I had to call the agency and they connected me with a feline behavior specialist. My cat has been here 3 days. We're already in therapy. It doesn't get more New York than that. And, you know, a feline behavior specialist, you know this guy isn't straight, right? He's basically a cat therapist. So we're working on our issues. I no longer have a bed to sleep in, but she does. And yeah, we're gonna work on. Would you like to meet her? She's kind of a cool prop. Franz said I should bring her out and show you, and just stand stroking the cat. Like, I don't even have to do any work. This material writes itself. Start the pussy jokes, you know, climb all over me. I'll do what it takes to get a following. It's a pandemic. I think cat videos are doing better than baby videos at this point. So what the hell? All right. So yeah, I guess, you know, we learn new things during this time of change and growth. I've learned that I will probably be single the rest of my life. Some things haven't changed. This is not exactly how I pictured my life, to be honest. When I moved to New York and I thought I would have a hot apartment and a hot man and a hot job, and instead I live in a studio apartment that smells like cat pee. And I'm eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches for dinner. But I did go to Whole Foods for the first time in 6 months. And I discovered that I have forgotten how to grocery. Because when I got to the checkout counter, I had to look for my credit card and I had to look for the bags. And I turned into my mother, that person who takes forever at the checkout counter. And the woman looks at me like, honey, have you ever done this before? It's been a while. So apparently I've forgotten how to grocery. I've forgotten how to talk to a man. And I guess I've forgotten how to be a human being again, but I'm gonna try to learn. So thank you all for showing up. Happy whatever the fuck day it is, and stay safe.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! So she was talking about grocery shopping, and they opened up a Stu Leonard's in my town. I don't know if you've ever been to Stu Leonard's, but literally go through a maze. It's like a food maze, and if you look like me, it's either Nirvana or hell. So you know, my wife sent me in there, and there were 3 items on the shopping list. By the time I got through the maze, I had 2 full carts, and I spent $837. So it's pretty much like I would be the worst mouse in the maze, because I probably wouldn't even leave the maze. I would just keep going round and round looking for more cheese. That's what I figured out about myself. But so we started with Dina and her cat, and now we're going to cats. Just cats, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Hey guys, thanks for having me. So I'm a single guy alone in his apartment, so this is gonna go quick. Thank you. That's the best joke I'm gonna do. It's really weird looking at this Zoom because I got all white guys at the top of the screen and the minorities are beneath us, and I'm kind of afraid right now. It wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. Okay, guys. All right. So, just a quick question. Does the fact that I like to eat fruit before it's ripe make me a pedophile? I got to look into that. So, ladies, quick tip for you. I don't know if any of you are, but don't date doctors. Because they're just going to keep you waiting like forever at the restaurant. They're probably going to overbook the appointment, and chances are they will make you offer a copay. All right. So I don't know if you guys have seen this little internet meme challenge or whatever going on. It's movies explained badly. For example, The Wizard of Oz, women fighting over shoes. Right. So then I started thinking of a couple. It's like, yeah, The Devil Wears Prada. An intern learns how to do her job. The Lord of the Rings. A good Samaritan returns property to its rightful owner. Then my personal favorite was Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever, and The Importance of Rum. Think about it. Okay, so like I said, there are 2 things that I watch every single day. News, because you got to stay informed, and porn. Because but what's just pretty amazing to me though is how similar these 2 programs are. You know, it's like they have to star a very attractive lady news anchor. We don't really care what the guy looks like, you know. you pretty much always know how it's going to end. Let's see. There's several categories to choose from. You know. So after a while, I can only get through a few minutes of it. Oh, and come on, guys, come on. Do you ever think about the names of these shows? For example, there's five guys. There's Outnumbered. There's Daily Briefing. Let's see. My personal favorite, All In. It's really gotten to the point where I can't tell which one I'm watching. So just something to think about. All right. So okay. Lastly, I'll leave you guys with this. Have you guys heard about this 4-year-old toy critic? There's a 4-year-old who's getting paid like $20 million a year to review toys. What kind of feedback is she offering? I didn't like this toy. It wasn't blue. This toy tasted funny. Like, but what really gets me is the salary. Who negotiated this? Did someone lose their job offering $20 million to a 4-year-old? What was the starting? Did they offer the kid cake? I don't know. That's just something to think about. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks very much.
All right, woo! Cats, ladies and gentlemen. Just cats. All right, we actually have a very funny young lady to bring up next. I've been working with Lori since the Earth cooled. Has been how long we've started. The Earth cooled, and then she brought me up to do a spot. So you are absolutely going to enjoy her, and I asked her to drop by and do a few minutes, and she's kind enough to do it for us. Put your hands together for Lori Summer. Lori Summer.
Hey, hi. Yeah, Jim, so I've known you since the beginning of time, and now the world is ending, supposedly. Yeah. So we've done the whole thing together, which is nice.
See you next incarnation.
Well, that will definitely happen for me. I've been here many times. You know who hasn't been here? This is their first time? Donald Trump, because he's really doing everything wrong for humanity. Like, he has zero soul. I don't know if we're not allowed to talk about politics, but Trump's an asshole. All right. I don't know. Thank you. I'm getting one applause break. The Trump fans aren't saying anything. That's usually how it works. So I had a very expensive week this past week, a $3,000 week, because I had to have a root canal done. And so that's what I've been doing. And I was really upset. And I think the doctor got a little weirded out by me, because I was like, wow, it costs more to take care of my tooth than it does my vagina. And, but that's really how I was like, I've never spent $3,000 on my vagina, nor has any of my boyfriends. So I don't know how I feel about any of that. So that's it. The good thing about it was the drugs that they gave me, and being an addict, they were gone within a day. So he gave me 16 pills, and by the third day I was like, should I call him, or is he gonna know? So I called him, because that's what addicts do, and he says, why don't I just give you ibuprofen? So that was it. I got the good stuff, and now I'm stuck with ibuprofen. So if anyone has pot, Venmo, please send it. If you could send it my way, send it my way. So Stephen was talking about all the TV shows. He said Outnumbered, and I hear that, and I'm like, wait, is that a show on TLC? I don't even or is that Outdaughtered? I don't. I feel which I kind of think is the same thing, Outdaughtered and Outnumbered. it's weird, you know, like I'm not really seeing a lot of people, not even on Zoom. I'm seeing you guys here, and I'll see you the next time that we do a Zoom show. But other than that, I'm really not seeing anybody. I don't know what's going on in my friends' lives other than what I see on Facebook. I could tell you what's happening with every single character on 90 Day Fiancé. I know everything about them. Like, just ask a question of any of them. I know what was happening before the 90 days. I know after the 90 days. I know what they've been doing during quarantine. I can't even tell you what's going on with my sister. Like, that just lets you know where my priorities are. Although I would like to not see my sister for another 90 days, but that's a different thing. This is supposed to be a comedy show. Hey, everyone looks really sad, by the way. Is everyone okay? Is it me? Like, what happened? Was it me? Did everyone get their hair cut in the past week or so? Like, are you okay? Is everyone doing all right? Are you, it's such a weird, it's such a mind fuck this year, you know, like everyone's talking about, 2020 and starting over and, you know, doing, I'm like, I don't want to start it over. I just want to get it over with. Like, let's, you know, like, I don't even know what is 2021 going to bring. I'm actually looking forward to the end of the world. You know, people were talking about not being able to, you know, pay their bills and everything. I haven't been paying them since December, you know, so that's how it's been for me. I was like, well, you know, I pretty much knew it was the end of the world once Dunkin' Donuts started serving tuna fish. And that was years ago. I knew. That's how long I've known. You know, people talked about the Mayan calendar in 2012, which is, that's right around the time of the tuna, I think. And I was like, yeah, we're right on par for the end of the world. You know, 2016 kind of sealed the deal. I was like, oh yeah, this is the end. But, you know, why not? We'll go out with laughter. I went into the city the other day. I haven't been to the city since, I live in the city, but I've been staying out in Long Island because I don't have children. I have parents, and they need to be taken care of. And, you know, they get very upset with me because I'm very bossy, which is why I had an abortion. I knew ahead of time. Nothing on the abortion. All right. I never know how that one's going to go. I don't know who's going to be affected by it. You know, like some people are going to get like all, you know, they're like, oh, you took a life. I was like, I also saved one. You know, it's all about perspective, you know, like I really did that kid a favor is what I did, because you know, and I'm sure they're really happy about it. They did try to come back a second time, did it again. No, I'm kidding. Oh, look, 2 abortion jokes in one show. All right. Keeper. Dun, 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 dun. So I am actually in the room where I first masturbated. Hey, that's the room that I was that I'm sleeping in now. Although I'm not doing it now because it doesn't feel right as a 50-year-old woman. 12-year-old, totally fine. 50-year-old woman seems kind of sad. But I turned 50. I know, right? Look at it. Look at it. This is all, I don't know what's happening with my hair. I did something different, and it's called, who cares? You know, like that's just how I'm feeling right now. I want to be like Dina, and I want to have red hair because the red hair is just fabulous. You know, there's people that are like dating and everything. They're going on Zoom dates or whatever, dating for, during quarantine dating. I'm not, because although I think it would be better, this way I could just, you know, be like, oh, bad connection, and then, you know, oh, internet went out. You know, like, it's better than being in person on a date where you have to be like, oh, I don't like how he smells, you know, like it's hard to get out of that one, because that it's very important. It's very important to like a person's smell. That I learned that on a date. I got there, and he had long very long dreads, and I don't think he ever washed them. You know, like by the time they got from here down to here, I was like, it's a little musty. What was that noise? Is that my time? What the fuck was that? Is that get off?
Nope, just somebody's phone went off.
Oh, is it important? Do you want to get it? Who the hell's phone was that? Turn. Is this? I'm not even in a comedy club, and someone's phone. Like, you didn't make an announcement at the beginning of the show. Everyone,
I forgot.
turn your cell phones off. Please keep conversations to a minimum. I don't know, Jim. We gotta still. Let's pretend like it's a show. Let's pretend like we're still doing comedy. We're not just in a box in pain, which is just how it feels. I sometimes like these shows better, you know, like I really do, because then I don't have to talk to any of you guys after the show, and that's my favorite part, you know. Like I don't have, after the show, I don't be like, oh no, that was a good set. You know, I don't have to, I could just be like, wow, they sucked. And then I could just, you know, go on. And, but yeah, I'm actually okay with these shows. I'm actually okay during quarantine. I gotta be honest. I'm really happy not being around a lot of people. And I have a feeling it's mutual. Just based on how my parents are treating me, I think my parents would really, really like quarantine to be over. That's really what because I'm not. They're both, you know, high risk, and I'm really. Anytime my father coughs, sneezes, sniffles, I'm you know, like checking his temperature. I'm covering his eyes and making him smell things. I'm just like, I'm doing everything that I can to like make sure that he's okay. And so far so good. The only body aches he ever has complained about is this chronic pain in the ass. And as far as I know, that's not one of the symptoms. And when I first started doing that joke 2 months ago, it was great. But I've kind of lost interest in it, and I'm not performing it the same way. That's why Jim didn't really laugh at it, because he's heard it countless times. But you guys didn't laugh at it either, because it's actually a really funny joke. It is. It's really funny. And, you know, I just want you to know that even if we weren't all on the Brady Bunch together right now, I would be doing the same thing, because this is what I do. I sit in my room and talk to myself. That's what I do. Just all day. I go to the store with a mask on and I talk to myself. And it's, you know, like, okay, listen. Who's ever phone that is, I'm sending security. Where's Lou, Jim? Where is Lou?
Nobody knows. I think the COVID got him.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. Maybe he is dead.
No.
All right. That's a Gotham joke, everybody. Sorry. We're doing a little inside humor over here. Lou is the security guard, former cop, and he steals. All right. So, but who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't steal? I steal. But it's only because I'm like my father. And that's what I learned from him. My dad is a hustler and a this time, growing up, this time of year was always really exciting for me because my father sold fireworks illegally. And so it was always around this time of year that I would he would give me $100. And as, you know, a 10-year-old kid, $100 back in, I'm going to say it, 1980. You damn right I look good. This is coconut oil. You damn right. But in 1980, he would give me $100, and the future whore that I was like, give it to me all in singles. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have it. He had no idea that I would eventually be dancing on a box. How did he know? But I did. I wanted it all in singles because this way I felt, you know, like you could be like a fan when I was going into the candy store. I would be like, yeah, get me a couple of, give me 5 Fire Red Hots. That was for you, Tina. Fireball. But I used to go into the candy store. Why? That was $100. You know how much candy I got with $100? I don't even know how I stayed so thin my entire life. Well, the bulimia. All right. All right. That's how I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it on bulimia because that's, you know,
All right.
which is how I should probably end quarantine. All right. Thank you so much.
Lori Summer, ladies and gentlemen. Clap for Lori.
Oh,
my
thank you.
God. And you got a bulimia joke. You know, Lori brings up candy stores, and I do got to point this out. Candy stores were when you were kids, candy stores were everything. Lori remembers this. You hung out in candy stores. It was probably your first date when you were in a candy store. You know, that was definitely something that you would do. And I actually experienced my first breakup in a candy store because I was 8 years old and I was going out with Lazan Figgles, and we used to,
I remember.
You remember Lazan? So we used to make out in the alley behind the candy store, which was awesome. At 8? Yeah, it was good. Second base, baby. But here's the whole thing. I broke up with her because I didn't realize what a freak of a human being she was until we went into the candy store and she asked for now or laters. The now or laters. It's one word. If you're saying all 3 words, I need to immediately break up with you. Even at 8, I knew that's what had to happen. We are going to continue the show. A very funny gentleman to bring to the stage. Put your hands together. Help me welcome Stuart Gibble. Stuart! Clever Stuart!
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for being here. Although I don't know who here is, but thanks anyway. My name is Stuart. I had the COVID-19.
Oh my God.
Spoiler alert, I'm not giving it a good review on Yelp. I went to the doctor and she said that they couldn't do a test. It was early in the plague and the only things that were getting tested were NBA players, rich assholes, and tigers in the Bronx Zoo. I don't know how or why the tigers were getting tested. Maybe they're rich, maybe they're assholes. I don't know. I can't think of a worse job than having to insert a swab up a tiger's nose. And I'm including the brave men and women who have to clean the bathrooms at Yankee Stadium. Anyway, there's 3 levels of infection with the virus. Unfortunately, only one gives you superpowers. And that's the first one, where you have no symptoms, but you could pass the virus on, including to your grandmother. Now, a lot of people think that's a bad thing, and I would agree, but some people, I've heard, you know, grandma's gonna leave them a lot of money when she dies, so, you know, she's getting old anyway. The second level of infection is moderate, which is what I had, or mild. They can't decide what to call it. And the third is go to a hospital, have a tube shoved down your throat, and it's 50-50 whether you get to live or die. That's not what you want. Anyway, I wasn't tested, but I had all the symptoms. Fatigue, dry cough, aches and pains, shortness of breath, and 2 of the weirdest symptoms, which were loss of smell and loss of taste. I lost a few pounds, you know, which was good, but I don't recommend the COVID diet. There's too many side effects. And there's a strange symptom, which they're calling brain fog. And let me tell you, if I say anything that offends you, anything that upsets you, talk to the manager of the virus, okay? It's not my fault, okay? And this is from now until the day I die. I get a hall pass. So I had all the symptoms of the case. And again, I was lucky. It was a moderate case. And I did most of my time sleeping, but I had a life. I had to live my life. So after about a week, I got up I went to my desk, I got out a blank piece of paper, and I wrote the words "to do" on it. And then I went back to sleep because I was still tired. And I slept and I slept and I slept. And when I slept, I dreamt about sleeping. And it was like a Christopher Nolan mind fuck. Because usually when you dream, you wake up, you're disappointed. You know, you almost got the treasure, your boss almost died, you almost convinced your girlfriend to try anal. But when you're dreaming about sleeping and wake up, you're just confused. You don't know if you got extra rest or if you got no rest. So usually I got up and I took a nap afterwards. But while I was recovering from the virus, I listened to the news. And people kept saying, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. I kept hearing that. And I know this. If I'm ever on a cruise ship and someone says we're all in this together, I know they're going to be first in line at the buffet. And if the ship starts taking on water, they're going to be first in the lifeboat. The other thing that people kept saying is that I can't wait to get back to normal. Normal? Really? That's what you can't wait for? Normal? What part of normal did you miss the most? Driving an hour to work? Or if you're not a morning person, did you miss driving an hour home? Did you miss sitting in a cubicle? Or did you miss those long meetings where you were there to discuss teamwork? To me, going back to normal is like taking your sister to prom. It's like going to a strip club and the only dancer is Kellyanne Conway. Trust me, when Kellyanne Conway dies, she's going to be working a strip club in hell where men will pay extra money not to get a lap dance. Anyway, it just seems strange to want to go back to normal. I think we should want to go back to better. I mean, what was so great about normal? Living in a rich country with third world healthcare, where nurses had to beg for protective equipment, while police departments have tanks and grenade launchers. You heard me right, grenade launchers. They not only need a deadly weapon, but they're too fucking lazy to throw it. They need the launcher. And that's not the worst thing about the police departments in this country. In 35 states, it is legal for a police officer to sleep, have sex with a person that he has arrested. The good news is that you still have the right to remain silent. Although I suggest you don't use it. I suggest you use your right to speak up and demand better and vote for better and wear a mask, people. Thank you.
Stuart!
Yay.
Clap for Stuart! Yay! It's going to be great when this is over and we're all out in public and you can actually do that on stage. Because I just want to see the audience reaction when you say, I had the COVID virus, and watching everyone slowly start to move away from you. Because people don't understand how diseases work. All right, we are going to continue. We have more show, ladies and gentlemen. Our next act, you may recognize from the Amazon Prime special, Live in Large. Put your hands together. Help me welcome John G. Clap for John G.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. You guys are doing great. It's been a fun show so far. So, 2 weeks before the pandemic, I broke up with my girlfriend. So I've been, cohabiting by myself all this time. And, it's really hard for somebody like me that looks like Santa Claus, to date normally. I used to try like Tinder and, even the ones that swiped to the right would expect me to bring presents, that really kind of sucked, and then somebody suggested I try Grindr. So yeah, I said, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. But do you understand how hard it is to clean this beard? Oh my God, that's just terrible to clean out a beard after that. Nah, so I dating after this COVID is, kind of tough. I've been on like several different dating sites, I tried like J-Date, but you know, they think I'm a rabbi, so that doesn't get me very far. And then, you know, in the past, most of the women that I've ever dated in my life have always been women that I've met at work. You know, I've either worked with them for a while, you know, and I'm not one of those magnetic guys that you just attract to at the very beginning. You know, you got to get to know me to love me type thing. But, you know, now I'm kind of working in an office all by myself. And truthfully, about only a few people that ever show up here once in a while are, you know, other dudes. So I ain't dating nobody at work right now. Not my thing, I guess, you know. And then, you know, I decided I would, you know, try some other online dating, and it was going pretty well, you know, except for my bank account kept going down. So that kind of dating kind of went bad. And then I started realizing like I kind of got sore in the private area. So you got to be careful how much of that online dating and online sex you actually have. You know, you can actually wear yourself out too quick. Not a good thing to do. And then, you know, I tried a bunch of the different stuff. Like, you know, like I got into movies. I really got into chick flicks. I really got into chick flicks, rom-coms and stuff. And I would pretend like I was the guy in the movie. And then I got realizing that if I watched the same movie a couple of different times, it would be like dating old girlfriends, you know, so you could go back and have a hookup with your old girlfriend over and over again. That kind of got me by for a few weeks, you know. Kind of boring watching the same movie. You can start repeating the lines and stuff, although you can turn the volume off too and just think about it. I tried calling a mental health hotline, try to like work this thing out. And, you know, they were like super friendly and very uplifting. And then I realized it was a sex hotline. So, you know, I mean, that kind of took me down the wrong path there too. And, you know, so, and the messed up, you know, I even went as far as to try to order a realistic real life doll. I figured at least I'd have somebody else to, you know, be with, right? But would you believe they're on back order? Cherry 2020 is now Cherry 21. I mean, come on. You know, I can't win this battle. And, you know, you talk about, you know, losing weight for Corona there, Stuart. You know, I lost weight. I didn't have Corona as far as I know, although I was sick, but I don't think I had Corona. But you talk about losing weight. I've been losing weight, but I'm losing weight because I've been cooking for myself and not going out to eat. And my cooking sucks. So, you know, after a while, you can't only eat the same number of, you know, so many eggs or cheeseburgers and stuff. It just sucks. So I've lost a lot of weight, and that's not even helping me with dating because, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to take like full body nude shots and put them out on the internet. And, you know, you'll probably attract the wrong kind of women, you know, although I did find one site that was like chubbylovers.com. So, you know, yeah, that was pretty cool. You know, some other things I'm worried about, you know, like my full-time job kind of went down the tubes a little bit. I got another job sort of, you know, kind of doing some other stuff. But, you know, like one of my part-time gigs at the end of the year is being Santa Claus, as some of you people who know me. And like, if they're postponing Broadway and all this other stuff, Santa's dead. You know, Santa's going to be doing virtual Santas. I mean, how much fun is that for the kids that are going to sit on your lap doing a virtual Santa? And even if you were doing it in person, you know, how much is the work? You know, it pays $200 an hour, but how much is it worth the risk of you catching Corona? I'm in that high risk category. I ain't going to die for $200, you know? So, you know, overall, it's been a fun pandemic, spending it by myself most of the time. You know, I'm looking forward to 2021 when I actually get the company that I was expecting. So that's where I'm at. Thanks a lot for the time, and have a great afternoon.
John G, everybody. John G. I do want to talk this because Joe was talking about movies, and for me, the Sophie's choice of my life, because at some point we all have a Sophie's choice in our life, happened when I was 16 years old, and I actually got a date with a young lady named Lisa, who is in I went to one Catholic school. She went to our sister school, and she was way out of my league, just stratosphere out of my league. And I got a date with her. And I got a date with her because I had a friend who worked in a movie theater, and I could get us in an opening night to see The Empire Strikes Back, which was cool. So I'm there like, I can get us in, and she's there like, let's go. Now, you got to know this about me. I am like the biggest Star Wars fanatic of all time. I saw the original Star Wars over 100 times in the movie theater when I was a kid. I was obsessed with it. I could actually lip sync the lines from Star Wars to this day. So we're in the theater, and I'm thinking, this is great. I got this pretty girl next to me. I'm in its opening night. It cannot get any better. 20 minutes into the film, she is bored senseless. She just is having the most miserable time. And she leans into me and she goes, hey, my parents think I'm at the movies. They're not looking for me for a couple of hours. Let's go outside and like make out. And I'm there like, but the movie, but Star Wars, just lightsabers. And she's there like, no, come on, let's go. You can see the movie some other time. And here's the whole thing. You're in a clique when you're 16 years old. And my clique were the nerds. Do you know what I mean? It was all of these guys that were just the nerdiest people around. And they're like, okay, do I go? Because I could then go to the nerds, hey, I was at the movie, but then I left because it was making out. And then, or do I just stay in the movie because I'm a Star Wars fanatic? And here's what kind of shifted and made me make the decision I made. I realized that if I said we left the movie theater to make out, none of my friends would believe me. Absolutely none of them would have believed me. So I would get no reward for it. So I said, let's stay and watch the end of the movie. And she and I never went out again. But cut to pandemic, and now she's been reaching out to me on Facebook. So I think I have a shot 36 years later. All right, we are going to continue with a very funny young lady coming to us all the way from Atlanta, and she's absolutely one of my favorites. Put them together for Isabel Pierre. Isabel Pierre, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey y'all. So listen, I've been wanting to light a candle for all the white people who didn't know their friendships with black people came with conditions. Like all these white people who didn't realize they were being tolerated. Yeah. They must be so sad right now. Like Trump after the Tulsa rally, or after he found out it doesn't matter how much work Melania gets, she's just aged out of his comfort zone, Man, it feels so good to see so many white people who are so uncomfortable and no longer have like any idea how to move in the world. It's like warm, like buttery cornbread in your mouth. Yeah. Just when I think about all the white people who are like up at night secretly chastising themselves for the one racist thing they said to Amari in high school. He wasn't on scholarship, y'all. He just played basketball and happened to be good at math. That's all. But think about all the corporate employees like scrubbing their Slack channels like there's about to be a racism audit in like the next 5 minutes. Man, all the diversity consultants and specialists like signing lifetime contracts with corporations right now, just making bank. Because there's a lot of work to do. I remember when I worked for a publishing company, it's a billion years ago, I got into an elevator with this woman who I had weekly meetings with, and she held her purse and moved it to a corner, which made me want to rob her, right? The exact definition of how law of attraction works, right? Like if you think it and feel it, it'll happen. I was like, well, bitch, you attracted this shit. Like what was I gonna do when I took your purse? Was I gonna run back to my desk on the same floor? I didn't react. I didn't react when it happened. I just went back to my desk, pretending like nothing happened. I was angry and I just had to pretend it wasn't a big deal. But if that had been today, she would have gotten the full Karen experience. You know that shit. Cell phone up, live stream on, hashtag detonated, Black Twitter for life, never let you forget. Someone should sell that. The full Karen experience. And my favorite though are all these white children screaming at their parents on TikTok. It's like, oh man, it's like I'm coming for all of historical time. You know, it's like over and over and over again. It's like, fuck. It's like watching really good feminist porn that I can masturbate to and not hate myself afterwards. Porn with like consent and real bodies. And I'll get to the point where like I can access the full scope of my humanity, but like right now, I'm reliving every single moment of powerlessness I ever felt, So like white people, just so you know, the rage orgasms of the oppressed have just begun. And let me tell you something, orgasm is hard for me. Like it takes a lot of effort. It took so much effort. I had to teach myself how to orgasm. Can you imagine how irritating that is? To read books and instruction manuals just so you can come? All this work I put in, which is the exact opposite of how coming is supposed to work, right? You're just supposed to connect to your body and your feelings and the fantasy. But here I am setting timers, finding source material, getting pillows involved in ways that have nothing to do with sleep comfort. So side note, I refuse to use pillows that aren't mine. I just don't want to rest my head on someone else's rough ride. You know what I'm saying? Sex with myself is hard. Can you imagine sex with other people? I feel like pretending to like so many white people under white supremacy. I've also pretended to like fucking many partners for long periods of time. There's like a PowerPoint presentation in there somewhere. If there's a PhD on the call, you need to defend a thesis nobody's going to read, you can have that idea. But I think there is some sort of crossroads between like pretending not to be aware of racism so you can survive and pretending sex is good so you just perform the bare minimum and like go to sleep. In fact, the best sex I ever had was when I was asleep. Like I woke up in the middle of the night with my entire body shaking. At first I thought I was having a seizure. And then I realized it just like felt really good. And I read somewhere that when you have sex like that in your sleep or like you come in your sleep, it's like an incubus, like a demon stealing your life force. And all I got to say is come back. You knew me so well, you ghosted me. I'm gonna have to like sage my room after this to make sure he's not listening. I tell you, men work so hard to have sex with me, those poor guys. Like, I hate being on top. It's like trying to stay on a pogo stick that I can't keep on, I'll only do missionary if my legs are up, but they have to be able to rest on your shoulders because I'm not holding my own legs up. That's too much. No stand-up sex. That's for movies. We're not doing that. The next time I'm at a guy's house and he tries to come in the shower, he better be washing my feet because it's not happening. I feel like my ideal sex situation is a little like mutual masturbation, or like oral sex while watching porn. which kind of seems to be in the phase of like protest we're all in, right? Like watching black squares and hashtags and white children screaming at their elders. We're like touching ourselves with all our self-righteousness, right? Except some people are faking, you guys. Fuck those people. Thanks, you guys. Have a good
Here we go, Isabel, ladies and gentlemen.
All
Yeah, I love you, Isabel, but there is something wrong with you. I do adore what you do,
Yeah.
but woo, all right. I cannot wait to see Isabel in front of a real audience. And I just want it to be like a room full of like 60-year-old white dudes just to watch the flesh crawl the entire time. All right. We have more show. Are you ready for more show, people? Woo! We got a couple more acts to bring to the stage. We have two. We would have had three, except Lorraine, who is hiding in the darkness here, is chickening out. So we're going to keep going.
Come on, Lorraine.
Yeah, we're
Do it, Lorraine.
But we are going to continue with a very funny man. You guys are absolutely going to love him. Put your hands together, Franz Kale. Franz
Hey,
Kale,
Franz.
ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo.
So there's like 12 comedians, Jim. Only 2 of us are black, and you put us back to back. Oh, I told you shit was meaningless. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Franz Kayo. I am remarried. I have 4 children. I live in New York City in the middle of the COVID epidemic. I'm an unemployed black man and I'm walking distance from my ex-wife. I'm just waiting for murder hornets to show up in our fucking house. I'm waiting for a little person to come to our door and tell us that we live on top of an Indian burial ground. When I first got divorced, I was so excited about the freedom of being able to date again. I basically went out with all types of women, young women, old women, married women. Well, no. And then finally, I realized that the only women that really were attracted to me were women who already had their own children and had gone through their own divorces. Why? Because their actual level of need was very low. They had very low standards, and I could provide them everything that they needed. I eventually ended up with a woman who actually lived in Brooklyn, because as many of you people know, distance is a big deal for people who date in New York. And also, I wanted to have a light carbon footprint. When we first got together, she was so excited to come over to my house. I would make sure that the place was spotless for her. She would be able to come through. I would make dinner. I'd have a glass of wine. We would draw the bath. All the things that a woman who was away from her kids would love. And she acted in kind. We had so much fucking sex. It was amazing. I mean, it was on the menu. Tuesday was Anal Tuesday. Thursday was Sloppy Blowjob Thursday. And Sunday was Vibrator Sunday. And so it was all exciting. And then we decided to become like everybody else, and we got married. Because we wanted to have set a good example for our children. And now we don't have any sex because we're fucking exhausted. We have 4 kids inside our house, and she's always tired. The only menu I get now is from Pornhub. The good news is, though, Pornhub has been very much a part of this whole new Black Lives Matter movement, and they did host us #social justice, because Black people deserve to come first. when we had 3 rules. We weren't supposed to live together, we weren't supposed to get married, and we weren't supposed to have any more children. And most people thought that we didn't want to have any more children because we were exhausted, we were tired, kids cost a lot of money, we live in New York City, but that was not the reason at all. The reason why we didn't want to have any more children is because the children that we had are already very exotic looking. We were married to people who gave us children that were just, I guess, unique in characteristics. Her children, she was married to a Korean man. And so she had these beautiful Korean Black children with huge anime eyes. And hey, I got to come home to like an episode of Avatar, The Last Airbender. And then my ex, she was a very light-skinned, fair-skinned woman. And so I was able to get these beautiful, tragic mulattoes from Birth of a Nation that would be ready for the next Cheerio ad that had a multiracial child in it. But because my ex was half Black, they would be ready for this moment because they would be 25% Blacker than those children inside those Cheerio ads. People think that because we have this wonderful blended family, we would be like the Brady Bunch or maybe Modern Family, but we're nothing like that at all. We're like a John Hughes film, The Breakfast Club, with a little bit of like Star Wars from George Lucas, because Darth Vader is always in the background waiting for us to strike us down as one of our exes. We have my wife's oldest daughter is the Molly Ringwald character. Very beautiful, not understanding anything that's going on around her. And basically, Gabrielle is the Ali Sheedy character, the emo, the one that doesn't know she is. She like puts all of the dandruff onto her desk whenever she's feeling frustrated. Layla, our beautiful 12-year-old, who's like Anthony Michael Hall, so sweet and innocent and kind and earnest and just wants you to like her. And then there's my son, Hendrix. The combination of the Judd Nelson and Emilio Estevez character. So he's basically a dick. That becomes a lacrosse player for Duke and then become a financial manager for JP Morgan. But we think that he's going to be the guy that actually takes care of us later. So all of that was to say we had all these beautiful children. We didn't want to have just a regular Black child. Because racism is bad enough out in the world, but imagine being profiled in your own house by your brothers and sisters, being light-skinned children saying, no, he's gonna steal shit from us. We all know that you can't mix people up like that. Jefferson taught us that. But now we feel bad because this has come. And now we put all of this money and investment in these unique and exotic looking children, and that shit's out of touch. It's passe. We want to just have a regular Black child now. Regular Black is in now. We could have had and everyone would be able to look at his resume and say, he's a nigger. We need to him. And we sit there and we look at the world. And I see the things that are going on. And Viola Davis is now being lauded as she should be instead of giving Academy Awards to Halle Berry and Zendaya and all these other actresses that don't have that wonderful Black quality. And companies now are getting ahead of the curve. They decided that they want to get over hundreds of years of treating regular Black people poorly. You know, now we have Aunt Jemima. We're going to redo her. We're going to rebrand her. And we have Uncle Ben. And we have Mrs. Butterworth. And all I can think about is they're getting rid of all these people as an unemployed Black man is great. 3 more motherfucking Black people. Or thank you.
All right, keep it going for Franz, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! And Franz's cameraman. Clap for Franz's cameraman in the background. Yeah. He's right back there. There you go, sir. He's got a mask on and everything. And Franz, I'm just going to say this because I think someone needs to point it out. You couldn't give a camera job to a Black cameraman? Even you just perpetuated that.
Don't take away our moment. I'm the one who's not the problem.
No, I'm just pointing out. You could have hired a camera person of color. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is all I'm saying, friends. All right. We are going to continue because we have one more wonderful act for you today. And he is, I've known this man for many a month right now. And he's got a brand new website that you should go see because he just built it last night. Yes, so you need to go see him. Put your hands together now, Mr. James Desalvo. James Desalvo, ladies and gentlemen.
There is a special kind of asshole out there right now. The guy in the recumbent bike. You've seen these bikes. You sit back and you pedal. It's like a lazy boy with wheels. And I pass these guys on the road, and they're always middle-aged white guys. And they have that smug look of self-satisfaction. Ooh, look at me. I'm saving the environment. Ooh. And these bumper stickers on the back of their seat. Coexist, an eco warrior, and ooh, rescue pet dad, who saved who? And that ridiculous, stupid 8-foot safety flag waving in the air like he's a tour guide to the land of Doucheville. Oh, please, everyone, come with me, please. Great, thanks. Over here, this is where we make the locally sourced organic kale shakes. Please try one. What? Nope, sorry, we only use paper straws. If you come with me here to this kitchen, this is where our chefs make the delicious artisanal gluten-free granola. Mm-hmm. The secret is chicory. Now, if you'll follow me into here into this room, please. This is very special to us. This is the Museum of White Guilt. Please leave your privilege at the door. Thank you. As you can see in the wall behind me, you see these digital counters. These tell us how many minority friends we have. The top counter says we have 17 African-American friends. The next one says we have 5 Hispanic friends. What's that? Yes, that does count the gardener at home. Thank you. One more question. Why is the bottom counter blank? Well, that's because we're not really sure how to categorize Asians yet. I mean, people of color, white, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. It's okay. And over here is the special us especially, the I'm not racist because machine. You simply push this button here and here we go. See? I'm not racist because I have 22 minority friends. You try it. Go ahead. Hit the button. And your excuse is, I'm not racist because I have a Black Lives Matter bumper sticker on my bike. Great. And over here are the famous African Americans in history. Well, famous to us anyway. On the wall over here and their accomplishments. first, of course, is the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He had a dream. Next is Harriet Tubman, who helped the slaves somehow. And third is the poet and author Maya Angelou. What? No, I've never actually read her work. I think she helped Stella get her groove back or something like that. And if you'll follow me this way, please, to the gift shop, you can buy a t-shirt. They are handcrafted by special needs Tibetan children out of Nepalese cotton. Thank you for coming. Have a good day. And I'm also all for the protests. I think every white person should be out there shoulder to shoulder protesting for justice with African Americans. However, there's one person that needs to stop. That's a white person who thinks that they've been so oppressed like Black people have. No, there's a woman on the news. Oh, we've been oppressed. Our people suffer. What? If you are so white, you make me look like Idris Elba, cut the Rachel Dolezal act, all right? You are not going to be stopped and frisked on your way back from an Adele concert. Oh, but I'm urban, yet Forest Hills is not the hood. And Ellen DeGeneres is a sadistic sadist. Have you seen her game show? She's always, oh, be kind to each other, love one another, take care of each other. Her game show, she'll hang people above a big vat of pudding. And if you don't answer trivia right, she drops you face first into it. All your under umbrellas, you pull a string. Is it money or water? Great. All right, now, answer this question. Okay, we're going to drop your baby into this pit of acid. You have twins. Well, you get to decide which one goes in first. Yeah, great. It's the Sophie's Choice of game shows, okay? And true crime podcast hosts are the worst. There's always some criminal justice major who's seen Criminal Minds too many times. Hi, my name is Becky McTavish, and today we're going to do what couldn't be done. We're going to solve a murder. Yeah, Becky, your 6 community college credits will do what the FBI couldn't do, sure. And tune in next week when NPR defeats ISIS. Every generation gets weaker. It's true, every generation. I sound a grumpy old man, but it's true. Come on, organic kale. We have processed over haircuts. Even me, if I don't have like soy milk in my coffee, I'm a whiny little bitch the rest of the day. Our ancestors would have kicked our asses. Irish women used to give birth in the field while they're farming. Didn't even stop. Baby just drops right out. And she doesn't stop farming. The baby's bouncing along behind her as she's going. And that kid better be working back there. Pick up some potatoes, you lazy arse. Come on. My grandfather was one of those guys. Big, tough, Irish son of a bitch right off the boat. He made Liam Neeson look like Betty White. So he used to build the old steam locomotives. And his pinky got cut off the here once it's hanging off. So he goes, takes the tin snips, cuts the rest of it off, steams it shut on the boiler, and goes back to work. I get a paper cut. I want workman's comp. I've been trapped in the house a lot lately, so I've been watching a lot of Turner Classic Movies. You know, the old 30s and 40s movies. We need to bring that way of talking back. It's the best. And I could tell you a story, you know, talking like now. I went to a bar and it was great. I met this woman and we had a fun night. Okay, go. Or you do it like that. Yeah, see? So I was at this gin joint, see, getting my giggle juice on, and this dame walks in, see? Boy, she was a bee's knees, a cat's pajamas, I tell you. I was gobsmacked, I see. So she comes sauntering over and asked me to buy her a snort. I said, sure. She had a lot of moxie on her. What the heck? Sure. So we sat there flapping our gums, see? Then I asked her, hey, you want to cut a rug? You want to dance? She looks at me and says, hey, I ain't no flapper. Well, fine there. Okay. We sat there in awkward silence. Then she leans in for what I thought was a smooch. Suddenly I felt a mitts going from my wallet. I said, hey, hit the bricks, toots. I ain't no palooka. And the thing that really kicks me in the gears is I'm still dizzy for that dame. Thank you very much. Tip, your waitress has been a great night.
Woo!
Thank you so much.
James.
James.
James. Woohoo. He will be next appearing in Palookaville. That is coming up. He will be just enjoying Palookaville. You guys have been an outstanding audience. All the comics, thank you so much for doing this. And we are going to be doing this so often. So and we would love for the audience that's still here to go tell your friends and come back again next week. And the rest of you people, I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Woohoo.